Hey guys, it's Jeff Hartman, the Neptune Man. And first of all, I want to welcome you. If you're on my channel or my video for the first time and you're just learning about the Neptune Man, I started, about 10 years ago, and I was helping homeowners repair their washing machines, saving them hundreds of dollars. The first repair I worked on, that was costing Neptune owners $450. And I put together a small kit, and it had a resistor, a triac, some solder, and it came. I had a video link on YouTube, and I'd sell that kit for anywhere from $30 to $50, depending on which shipping method they wanted. And I've sold over 9,000 of those kits. So I've got homeowners actually taking out their control board and soldering on parts. And when I first started, people said, hey, you can't do that. So it's kind of controversial, You can't have homeowners repairing their appliances, I did it. And then they started saying, hey, Jeff, my Neptune sounds like a jet plane. So I put together a bearing and seal kit because they wanted $900 to change that huge outer tub. Because if you look at the Maytag bill of material, it only showed the big tub. It did not show the bearings and the seal. They didn't offer those separate. So if the technician replaced that tub, it's like $900. So I found a tool, a guy, Tony, he invented the Tony tool, and I started renting that out to my customers. So it's got a DVD with it, and it has a T-handle, so you can use that, a threaded rod to pull out the bearings, okay? And now it's controversial because now people are replacing their bearings, and it's keeping these machines out of the landfill for much longer because you want to maximize your life. My cars, I usually drive them until the wheels fall off or until I total them. I did total a car not too long ago. So anyway, so that's kind of controversial because I'm having homeowners repair their washers, But this is going to be controversial too. This new project I'm working on, and I'm going through the test process right now, and I've seen the evidence that people are getting their checks back. I've seen pictures of the checks and their tax form, and it matched the numbers and everything. So people are getting their federal income tax back, and also their Medicare and Social Security as well. You add all three of those up, and that's what you ask the IRS to give you back if you don't have earnings that are taxable. Okay, everybody thinks, yeah, I got a job, I got wages, I got income. Well, they automatically think, oh, I got to pay tax on it. I'm going to give the government 30% for whatever reason, because they so deserve it or whatever. Forget that. Most 90% of people should not be paying tax on their money. Okay, it's like millions of people. This word's getting out, and it started since 2003. The author, he was the first person to get a full refund on his income and wages at the time. Okay, and then once he got that refund, he knew this process worked. And that's when he wrote his book. And now tens of thousands of people a year are getting their federal income tax back, and you'll learn all about it. So let's go talk some more about this. Go to neptunebearing.com. Oh yeah, go ahead and subscribe to my channel because I'm going to have a lot of information on this and show you guys proof and checks and all that stuff. Direct deposit receipts that people got their federal tax back. And also, in 38 states, you get your state income tax back too if you follow this process with them as well. Okay, click on to order. No, I'm sorry. That's if you want to order a bearing. If you know anybody that has a Maytag Neptune and it sounds like an airplane taking off, send them to neptunebearing.com. And then tell them to order the bearings. They can rent the tool. And then or they can go to the tax and learn about federal income tax, whether you should pay it or not. Everybody assumes they have to pay federal tax, but it's not true. Can millions of Americans be voluntarily giving away their hard-earned money when paying federal income tax? I'm going to tell you the answer is yes. We've got proof that people are getting their money back. But today I want to focus on moms. We want moms to stay at home. Okay? The kids are much better off, and they don't have to get up at the crack of dawn, get dressed, be dropped off at daycare all day, be at daycare. Then they get picked up by either parent. They come home, you got to fix dinner, you got to clean up after dinner, get the kids ready for baths. By the time you're all done, it's bedtime. And then you just repeat the process the next day. That's not a whole lot of fun, I know. Plus, you're wore out to the bone. You're tired. You know, mom as well, because she's working, and her earnings, I'm not going to say income or wages because that's taxable. Her earnings, which they may not be taxable, are just barely covering the daycare. Okay, plus you're paying, you know, you're withholding more taxes given to the government. We don't want that. So what we want is mom to stay at home. We want spouse to make 30% more. Now, thousands of families can do this if the spouse makes 30% more income or earnings. So let's go find out more about this. You know, how do we know if our company is a private sector company or a federally privileged company? I'll give you some examples. Railroad. If you work on the railroad, you're going to have to pay taxes because in the beginning, back in 1800s, the federal government gave all that land to build that transcontinental railroad. And so railroads are making profit from that land, right? So the government should get a piece of that. You know, that's right. But like say you cut your neighbor's yard, use your lawnmower, your gas, they pay you $25. So Uncle Sam get 30% of that? No. Did he push your mower around? No, you did not, Uncle Sam. Did he didn't do anything. So why would you want to give 30% to them when they didn't do anything? That's insane. So, but if you use Uncle Sam's lawnmower and you pushed it around, you cut the grass, well, yeah, Uncle Sam should get a piece of that, right? Technically, because you used their equipment. It's the same as using their land. If they give away land and you put your building on it, you make a profit, Uncle Sam gets a piece of that. So, with that in mind, that's one thing you got to figure out. Also, who benefits from it, okay? In the case of railroads, the railroad benefits because it's for profit. But I was thinking like a VA hospital because, you know, it's all military patients, right? The veterans, and thank you so much, veterans, for your serving our country. You know, we so appreciate that. And the veterans VA hospitals, I was thinking, what the nurses and doctors, would they have to pay tax because, you know, they're working? It's all, you know, if Uncle Sam wasn't there, the VA hospital wouldn't be there. We wouldn't have the military. We'd have to have something, I think, to protect the borders. But you know what I mean. So, but then we found out that it also has to do with benefit. Who benefits from that service? The doctors and the nurses don't. The patients do. So technically, doctors and nurses should not be paying, that work at a VA hospital, should not be paying federal income tax because they're not benefiting from that service. It's the patients. That's what they built the VA hospital for, is for the patients, not for the doctors and nurses, okay? So if you're a doctor or nurse at a VA hospital, you should not be paying federal tax, okay? You want to get it back using this process. So this package includes a book that the author wrote. He wrote back in 2003. I think it's on his 15th printing. It's just crazy. I just found out about it now recently. I knew about it for a few months, but I'm testing it right now. But like I said, I've seen tons. You know, he has almost 1,000 victories on his website. You go look. Once you know, I'll give you the link. You can look at his stuff. He shows the checks. He shows the tax return they filled out. You can research that, and you could probably use that for your tax return, by the way. And he shows, he's got videos of testimonials. I saw one guy where he's been doing this since 2008, and he has a side business, and he's had $1 million come through his business from 2008 to 2019, right? And he says he hasn't paid a nickel of federal tax. He doesn't have to. It's not federally privileged money. So it's his earnings. That's just amazing. And he said he was afraid. First year he did it, he got a letter from the IRS. He called it communication. He got a communication from the IRS, and he said he communicated back and slapped him, and he got his money back. They may test you. They may send you a letter saying, "Oh, you got a frivolous filing. You have missing information." And the states are starting to do this too. They're trying to. They want to keep that money, but. You got to write him a letter back. You have hundreds of samples. He's got everything posted on the site. You can look at all this stuff. You can see what people just wrote back to the IRS. Just kind of follow that format. change wording. Once you read the book, you understand what's going on here. You'll know exactly how to respond. It'll open your eyes, though. I mean, I couldn't believe it. So today, we're looking at moms. You know, how can we get mom home? If the spouse can make 30% more, this is good news and great news, because remember, you go back 3 years and get your do amended returns and get all that money back for 3 years. That could be $60,000. I mean, that's a lot of money. That would last, you know, you could ride that out quite a while with the kids at home. Plus, once you know this is working, you can file exempt with your company you work for. I didn't say employer, I said company you work for. Because the IRS looks at these words, employer, employee, income, wages. They don't mean what you think they mean. Okay, you'll learn about that in the book. It's just blows your mind. And they wrote it this way on purpose. So back in the old days, you couldn't look up online the tax code. You had to go to the library and look through books and books, and because it all kind of leads through different sections, and no one did it. It's too much work. But now, once they digitized it, put online, the author could do searches, and he found this trail. Says, hey, I don't have to pay tax. I don't meet the requirements. So, with that in mind, check it out. Buy it today. I keep a stash of books on hand, and I'll send that to you priority mail. Plus, I've got a cheat sheet I put together. I'm calling it like an ebook. It's got links. Like if you Uber Lyft, you can go right to someone that did it, and he got all his money back, or he didn't have to pay anything. No, he didn't have to pay federal tax on it. And it depends on what state he's in too. Like Ohio. Ohio is one where you get your money back. Like I said, 38 states. I've seen California, Colorado's in there. I think North Carolina, I've seen some state refunds from there. Virginia's in there. So if you live in those states, you're good to go for state income tax. Get that back. But you got to read the book. You'll probably end up reading this book 3 times. And because every time, just like watching a movie, you pick up on different things. When you read this book, you're going to pick up on different things. And it's going to be a whole lot of benefit. Okay? And also, the author has a newsletter. He puts out, about every week I get a newsletter from him. And he also is doing trips. He actually he rents out a hotel room, and for $10 you can go spend about 4 hours there. And he goes over stuff, and it's you can ask him questions. He has about an hour and a half Q&A. When I went, I saw him down in Dayton, Ohio recently. So he's active. He's promoting this. He wants Americans not have to pay federal tax, because why should you if you don't have to? It's lawful. Okay? Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. Jeff Hartman, Neptune Man. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm having a lot of stuff. I'm going to talk about these definitions, you know, for income and wages. You guys will be blown away. When's the last time you read the Internal Revenue Code? It's probably not on your mind, but now it will be. Because once you know what they're doing to trick you, it's... All right. It's just ridiculous. Okay, thanks, guys. I will shout at you later. Jeff Hartman, Neptune Man. And I appreciate you. And don't forget to subscribe, okay? And you got to hit that little notification bell so you'll get emails when I put up a new video, because you're going to want to see these videos, okay? Thanks. Bye-bye.